Good day, and thanks for listening to yet another chapter of Anomaly, How to Finally Stand Out from the Crowd, where today I will be reading Part 1, Chapter 5, which we can call 1.5, roughly, where I'm going to continue reading a different chapter of my book each and every day until, well, I suppose I'm done. Now, I'd like to do this in a Disney villain's voice, but I don't. I don't know which one to do. Maybe I'll be Captain Hook. Arr. Is that Captain Hook's voice? I don't know. Anyway, if you guys like what you're listening to, you can get your own copy of Anomaly at zackmillersays.com/anomaly. I never understood, is it backslash or just slash? Anywho, imagine me speaking this chapter in a Disney villain's voice. Maybe Zack Miller is just a Disney villain, period. Anywho, Chapter 5, The Sales Funnel. This is in bold, which means it's important, or I suppose a definition. A sales funnel is the process of taking a visitor or prospect through your system from first view to conversion. Remember, the conversion is whatever that data point that you decide is the thing that you're going to want: a subscribe, an actual transaction, a financial means, a date with a girl, whatever. It typically takes somewhere between 5 to 7 positive interactions to land a qualified client. Why waste your time with cold calling if there's a good chance the answer is no? By following the sales funnel, you can save yourself a lot of time and energy, as well as get the conversion you're striving for. Let's take a look at an example using a 5 to 7 step funnel. Once you understand what a funnel is and its contents, we will go over free or cheap ways to get prospects into your funnel. How cheap, you say? Zack Miller says roughly the price of an extra value meal at the Mac Shack at McDonald's. That's how cheap. The 7 steps to a sales funnel are: Step 1, bringing awareness. Step 2, getting contact information. Step 3, the follow-up. Step 4, dig deep. Step 5, hard sell. Step 6, 24-hour follow-up. And Step 7, ongoing support. If you guys are liking what you're listening to, head on over to zackmillersays.com/newsletter, and you can get wonderful tips and tricks every Monday morning at 10:13 a.m. delivered straight to your email client, browser, whatever you call those things. Back to the book. Some studies show it takes up to 20 positive interactions to make a conversion. A positive interaction doesn't mean you have serviced or sold anything in a positive way to a client. It means they've had some sort of favorable interaction with you, even if it's just seeing the business card you left them. On the opposite end of things, if your potential client has a negative interaction with you, it takes up to 35 positive reactions to regain credibility. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not giving someone who sucked 35 chances to not suck anymore. It's just, that's the difficult thing. I mean, imagine going to a restaurant, the meal was not good. Are you going to give them 35 more times before you actually like it? No. And sometimes you may have lost them for life, no matter how many positive interactions you will have with them. So make sure all of your interactions with potential clients are positive. Duh. It's key to note that typically you will not promote or talk sales with anyone until step 5. Knowing that it takes several steps to convert a prospect into a customer, why would you try to sell on the first interaction? You already know it won't work. You know the numbers. We've discussed the numbers. Instead, create a relationship similar to one with a new friend. So if you're listening, let's be friends if we're not already. You're so wonderful. Close your eyes. Ooh, should I do this? Close my eyes. Well, then I can't read. Close my eyes and think about the last time you got a cold call from a salesman. Most likely you were not delighted to get the call, and we're probably more on the irritated side. So why would you want to do that to your potential customers? Instead, find a different path so that you can introduce yourself, educate them, and make them fall in love with you all before you pitch your product, service, or whatever you're selling. Use the sales funnel as a guide or template, adjusting the material and message over time with your customer base. Maybe I'll be a pirate now. Arr! It may sound simple, Sonny, but if you follow this process, your deal flow won't only increase, but your bottom line sales closing will too. That was terrible. I can't do that. Deal flow is the total number of prospects added to your sales funnel. The best part? It doesn't matter what you're selling, an app, a service, a product, or even a date. Yes. You can use this process to ask someone out. And if that works, I want 13% credit. The process increases your bottom line exposure, website traffic, social media engagement, customers, and leads from customers who have turned into raving fans. Most people quit after step 2 in the sales funnel, which means if you don't quit, you'll probably win. Before you develop your sales funnel, define the unit you're tracking, a sale, a subscriber, or interested potential dating partners. Yeah, have a spreadsheet of people that you want to date so that you have something to track. If you obtain a 2% conversion rate, you have a unit to measure. If you don't know what unit to measure, think about the numbers you track the most or data you want to know and start there. The goal of a sales funnel must be a unit that is quantifiable, as mentioned previously. In most cases, that means converting a target customer into a paying one. Although if you're building a freemium service, it may be acquiring a user. These freemium service businesses typically run advertising and the user never sees a paywall, which is an arrangement where a website will restrict access to certain pieces of content unless you have paid to access it. An example of this is ESPN Insider, WWE Network, stuff like that. You can only read insider content if you're a paying member. As with anything, it's good practice to track what's working and what's not. If you don't weigh yourself regularly when on a diet, you won't know if that diet is working. Unless your clothes, I guess, are fitting better or not. In business, if you can't understand why a reaction is happening one way or another, you can't improve upon it for future endeavors. By putting best business practices into your approach, it'll help you even if you're just running a social media campaign. By the way, it will is one of the hardest words to read. I don't know. If you can understand how people think and how they'll act, you'll have a stronger indication of how to get more conversations. Or conversions. Find a metric that you can track and religiously try to improve it. The first step of a sales funnel is a hard pill to swallow for some. You have to provide some sort of free content, something that can educate someone about your area of expertise or engage them in some way. But it comes back to the deposit before you withdraw idea. In order to get someone started in your sales funnel, you need to hook them in. Deposit more than you withdraw, meaning give them something, let them fall in love with you, enjoy what they're consuming from you, and then at a later time, you can get them to try and buy more things, consume more, whatever, go on more dates with you, whatever. Roadmap, which is the things that you should do now. Number 1, what metric are you tracking? What's the thing that you are going to figure out if it's working or not? Number 2, create a sales funnel spreadsheet or download the Anomaly Method Roadmap. Just head on over to anomalymethod.com. You can get that at anomalymethod.com. That's anomalymethod.com. And begin to fill it in with contact information data points, which include the name, phone number, email address, keywords, where you found them, step in the sales funnel, conversions or conversations had. Conversions and conversations. Those are hard words to differentiate, apparently. Conversations had, their interests, their pain points, etc. That's it for the chapter on the sales funnel. Chapter 5, part 1. Keep listening to more episodes of Zack Miller Reads Anomaly. Thank you. And be sure to go to anomalymethod.com to get the Anomaly Method Roadmap. Or if you want to get your own physical version of this book, you can head on over to zackmillersays.com/anomaly and get the book yourself. Or just continue listening. Toodles for now. Peace and pancakes.